Hello my friends, how are you doing? My name is Olivio, I'm a professional designer, and today I want to show you this beautiful effect where a train track is coming right out of your camera lens. Okay, so the first thing we need, of course, is a photo of a camera head-on. I will link the source pictures in the info of the video, and also as a Patreon supporter you get my file with all the layers so you can look exactly at what I have done in this tutorial. The next step is, of course, we want to have our train tracks and you want to overlay them in a way where the perspective matches the ground of our camera where the camera is sitting on. So for this, simply reduce the opacity of your train track image and then move it down here until you find a point where this is matching up. So I want the train tracks to go to the center of my lens, of course, and this seems to match up pretty well. Good. So we can now set the opacity back to 100%. Now, the next thing we need to do, of course, is to make a selection of our inside of the lens and also of the train tracks. Here's a very easy way to make a round selection anywhere in an image. Go over to your rectangle tool over here, click and hold it and select the ellipse tool. Then hold shift and drag out a circle like this. Next, you want to reduce the opacity of your circle again to 50%. Zoom into your picture. And now you can switch over to the move tool and move everything in position like this. Again, hold shift, move this side in a little bit so this overlaps the center of your lens. You can also use the arrow keys to have a little bit of a finer control. You can see this matches up pretty well. So after we have done this, hold Control and click on your ellipse layer. You can see now we have these end lines around our circle, and we can use this to click on our camera picture down here and simply click on the mask layer icon. And this will create a mask for us, as you can see, where we have everything selected inside of the lens. But as you can see, we are on the wrong layer. So Control D to deselect and then simply move the mask up here onto our train track layer. The next thing we want to do is to turn off that mask layer again. And you can see we want to have a good look at our train tracks because we want to select them. For that, we use our freehand lasso tool. Again, we are going to click shift, or better said, hold shift and click once and then click twice. And you can see this creates a straight line as a selection. Now you can use, while you hold shift, the control key and your mouse wheel to zoom into your picture to get a better preview of what you're looking at. So let's turn on the mask again, like so. And then we are simply going to take a paintbrush and you can simply paint in your train tracks like this. As you can see, that's very easy. One thing I like to do at that point here is that I'm going to select my mask, go up here to Filters, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I'm going to blur everything a little bit by taste, like so you can see. So this gets a little bit unsharp around the edges of the lens, but also around the edges of our train track. That's pretty okay. Another thing we want to look out for is that we have here depth of field blur in the foreground, which means we have to simulate that on our train tracks too. For that, select your train track image layer, then go to the live filter and select depth of field blur here. And what you want to do is to select up here where it says mode, the tilt shift mode, push the radius up until you feel like, okay, this is similar as the blur. This lower part here is important, so you move this down to have an overlap of where you think the blur should start and end. So you can see this is where the image is getting sharper, and this is where the image reaches its maximum blur potential. So we can pull this out a little bit and we can move this back in a little bit. So this matches up as good as possible, or as good as you feel like it should be, right? So this is also up to your taste. Okay, that looks pretty good. You can also individually adjust the point up here. Of course, this part of the picture we don't want to have blurred, so you want to move this inner selection out of the way so everything in that part stays sharp. So the next thing we want to do is to bring our gorilla into the scene. Here we have him, and what I'm going to do is to right click, rasterize and trim, like so, and now everything is the size of our picture, and we can also have this as a pixel layer. Here in brackets it says pixel. That's really important for us, because now when we make a selection, let's use our selection brush for that to make a quick selection. Let's click on apply real quick, and then I'm going to create a mask here real quick. And we are using our paintbrush. Control D to deselect. I want to reduce the hardness of my paintbrush and also the size. And now I can simply paint around the outside of the ape to affect the mask manually a little bit. Like I said, the gorilla is going to be rather small in the picture, so the selection doesn't have to be too perfect in that case. You can, of course, take as much time as you want to make it super perfect, but as you can see here, this is also pretty good. All right, we have down here a little bit more of the grass. Want to remove parts of that, and that looks pretty okay. Good. So now what we're going to do is to right click and rasterize this again, like so. So you can see now we have only the monkey, and we're gonna make our gorilla small like that. Let's see how big we actually want to have him. Like so. I don't want him to cover the train tracks because they are our visual cue leading into the picture. So I want him to be rather small like this. And now we have to create a shadow for our gorilla. So what we're going to do is to right click on our gorilla layer and duplicate like so, and then go up here to arrange and flip vertically. So it's upside down, as you can see. Pull this down here and then use our perspective tool over here to stretch this out a little bit like so. That looks pretty good. Okay, good. Let's click on apply, and here is the trick. Here is how I'm creating the shadow. I'm now going to use my rectangle tool, and I will pull a rectangle over the whole area that we just have created as the copy of our gorilla. Then I'm going to the fill up here, gradient, and I set both sides to black like this. One side, second side. Now I'm going to set the opacity on one side to 0 like this, and I'm going to use my gradient tool to draw in the gradient in the way we want to have it, like this. So far doesn't look like much, but look at this. Now I'm going to use our upside down, let's call him shadow, like this. I move this over my rectangle, then right click on it and say mask to below. And there we go. You have now a shadow of your gorilla, but you can see that the outside is still rather sharp. So what we're going to do is to select our pixel layer of the image of our gorilla, and we are going to use the layer effect Gaussian Blur to blur everything a little bit like so, and voila, we have a soft shadow. Now, of course, because we are using a rectangle, we can still use our gradient tool. As you can see here, we still have our gradients here to readjust where our shadow is going to be and how strong is our shadow going to be. And this is what makes this so useful. All right. Now here's one more thing I want to do. I'm going to click on the layer with the actual gorilla and then hold Control, click again. This creates this kind of selection here. I'm going to create a new pixel layer and then use my paintbrush to paint in a little bit of black down here. Let's reduce the hardness, reduce the opacity, make the size bigger, and I'm just going to make the lower parts of his legs a little bit darker so it matches up better with our shadow that we have created. Let's come now to the visual effects to bring everything together, make everything look a lot better. Good. So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to click on our layer where we have our camera, and we are going to create a curve adjustment on top of that. So click here and then select curves. And then you want to pull that down to make everything in the picture darker. The next step we are going to do is to go to layer invert, so nothing of that is visible. And we want to use a paintbrush again. Make this paintbrush rather big and then also soft like so. Opacity is okay. Switch to the color white like this, and then we can make the areas we want to darken visible again. You can see now I can paint here on the sides and make the sides darker by manually painting that in. This is what's so important about this trick, that we can actually decide where we want to have these darker areas, right? Okay, so this is what we are going to do here. Now, a second thing I'm going to do is that I am going to create down here again where we have all of our shapes a donut like so, and I drag the donut out over everything, make it bigger than everything, that's important, like so. And then I'm going to use my whole radius to make that smaller, like for example like this. I'm going to set the fill to black, and then I'm using my layer effect Gaussian blur again to set this to 500 pixel. And you can see now that this is actually creating a custom vignette around our picture that I can move and shape in any way I want. Let's pull this up here over everything on the picture like this. And you can see this creates a beautiful vignette that I can pull down here and really use in any kind of way I want. This is what makes this so great. We can actually also reduce the Gaussian blur a little bit around that to give us some more brightness down here. And you can see now we have a nice light flowing out of the camera, and the rest of the camera rather be in darkness. So now what I want to do is to adjust the light situation in here a little bit. The way I'm going to do this is by creating again a shape down here, in this case an ellipse. I want to drag this out like so, and again I'm going to fill, gradient, type, radial, and I'm going to set one side to white, the other side to a nice warm orange, a little bit darker. That looks good. Okay. And what we want to have is the orange in the middle and the white on the outside. So we simply click down here on the reverse. This is what we want to have. And we are going to use layer effect, again, Gaussian blur, like so, to make this softer. Maybe set this to, let's say, 200 looks good. All right, good. What are we going to do with that? I'm going to set this to screen, like so. So this makes everything brighter in the image. And I'm going to pull this inside of my layer of the train tracks, where we also already have this masks. You can see like this. So now it's sitting inside of here. And now I can move this up here. And this creates a nice foggy sunlight effect. Let's move this a little bit closer inside like that. Maybe let's see if I make this a little bit darker. Like so. Yes, that's actually good. Okay, let's use it like this. Good. Now here is an interesting trick, because I want some of the light to spill out over the side of the lens, right? So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to duplicate this, and now I'm going to pull this out. So now this is not limited by the mask that we have applied to our layer of the train tracks, right? And I'm going to pull this down here, make it a little bit smaller and also a little bit wider like this. And then I'm going to reduce this but not in the opacity, but in the fill opacity like this, because this will at the same time keep the nice look of our effect, but reduce the brightness of it, while opacity will make it mute at the same time. So the colors are not going to look as good. Already looks pretty nice. I want to have this area down here behind the train tracks also in a different light, which means in this case I'm going to create a pixel layer that is sitting between our layer of the image of the camera and the layer of our train tracks. And in this case I'm going to simply paint this in here. I'm going to click once on the left side, once on the right side. The color is already pretty nicely set up for us. I'm going to switch this over to, let's see, blend mode overlay in that case. I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit, and this gives us a very nice shine here. The next thing we need to do is to adjust our gorilla a little bit by using a curve adjustment. So let's create a curve adjustment here. Pull this onto the layer of our gorilla like so. And then what I can do here is, let's see, make him a little bit darker maybe. And then also, let's zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to use my curves for the different color channels to adjust his colors a little bit. You can see here I'm going to pull down the blue a little bit. I'm going to push up the red a little bit to blend him better with the rest of the picture and fill him into the picture situation nicely. One last thing we can do, by the way, before I go, let's create another pixel layer here. I'm going to use this to dodge and burn a little bit. Let's set this to soft light. Give me a brush, and then I'm going to go over here. Again, as always, everything that's below the middle point here of gray is making it darker. Everything up here is making it brighter. So I'm setting this down a little bit, make my brush a little bit smaller like so. And then I'm simply going to paint in these areas here to make them a little bit darker just in that area here. Give me a little bit more maybe down here. And that looks good, just so we have a little bit better flow of the light. And there we go. We have created our effect. I'm looking forward to see what you have created. Post it please in my Facebook superfan group, which is also linked below the video. See you in my next tutorial. Maybe if you like it, give me a like. And if you watch a lot of my videos, maybe even subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Bye.